My name is Glenn Jensen. I'm one of the career advisors here at the Career Center. One of the student groups I work with is the Library and Information Sciences students. Some of you folks I've met one-on-one. But my goal is to help with resumes, interviewing, applications. Tonight we want to do a program to kind of let the students interact with employers in a safe environment. Ask the questions that are maybe you don't want to ask in an interview when the job's on the line. Get some insight from professionals on how to market yourself professionally, things you should do before you graduate to help improve your career outlook. So that's really the goal tonight. But before we get going, I want to thank the panelists for coming. It's the professionals who come out and donate their time to help get the next group of professionals going. I also want to thank Cindy Batman. She is the sister of our employer development professional. She is not here this evening, but she got the panelists for me. So I'm really indebted to her. Additionally, I want to thank y'all for coming. We got the Associate Dean here from the college, and I'm really happy that we've got some students to come talk to these professionals. The format this evening is I'm going to have each of the professional folks, I'm going to introduce them, and they can introduce themselves, talk about their organizations, what they do, and then following that, I want to open it up to about 30 to 40 minutes of Q&A, depends on how fluid it gets. Let you ask the questions of any and all of the panelists. And after that, we'll adjourn to some refreshments and coffee and do kind of a practice networking session. Right now, everything is so technological with people in their job search. You apply online, you fax to jobs, you IM your friends, you email your folks and friends and family. The one thing that I think is getting lost is walking up and saying, "Hi, I'm Glenn. I'm looking for a job in this field. Good to meet you." That personal interaction, the one-on-one with employers in a networking environment. So, and that's what really the ultimate goal here is to get your questions answered, but also to get you used to talking about yourself and selling yourself to people that might help you with some guidance or advancement in your career. So, to start with, I'm going to introduce Sarah Jones. You are a research associate with Spencer Stuart.
Right.
And you're going to be able to talk about yourself a little bit here.
Okay.
Then we've got Rosanna Ratliff, and she's the Associate Director of Baylor Health Sciences Library. And then we have Dr. Kay Bray, who's TWU faculty for library science. And so I want to thank you all very much for being here. If you would like to start off, we'll just go in order and just introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background.
Okay. Hello, I'm Sarah Jones, and I was in the program. I graduated in 2003, and I work for Spencer Stuart, which is a retained executive search firm, and our offices are down at the Galleria. And my role there, I'm a research associate, and actually what I do, our firm is retained by companies to help find their top-level executives. It could be anything from a vice president all the way up to the CEO or people to sit on their board of directors. So when a company comes to us and asks for help with an executive search, it's my role to figure out where we're going to look for this person, with the client's help, where we're going to look, what sort of profiles we're looking for, and then how on earth are we going to find these people and recruit them and get them interested in the role. So, and then I hand off the people that I find to a partner in our firm, and they kind of take it from there. So I'm really sort of the entree into the search strategy, developing a target list of where we're going to look for people, and then assessing the people on the telephone. So, which you may think, what does that really have to do with library science? But there's a huge research element involved with it. And when I first started the program at UNT, my company said, "We want you to do this." They kind of encouraged me to go through the program. So they paid for my tuition, which was really, really nice. So anyway, at the time we had a huge corporate, we were downtown and we had a whole floor devoted to our resources. And now that we're in the Galleria and our space is very much condensed, we have things in our kitchen. And so everything is pretty much virtual. But we have a knowledge manager in our office that also went through the program at UNT, and we work a lot together. So in a nutshell, that's what I do.
I'm Rosanna Ratliff. I'm the Associate Director at the Baylor Health Sciences Library in Dallas. And I believe Cindy wanted me to talk, Cindy Batman, because being the associate director, I'm relatively young to be doing that, and she wanted me to inspire people who want to maybe move into management. What I started out, it's kind of an interesting story, and it might seem boring to a lot of you because I've been at Baylor since before I started library school, and it sounds like you were at your place of employment as well.
Yes.
But what I did was get an internship right before I started library school, and I think that that's really important. There's so many people wanting to pursue a career in libraries these days, and I hire a lot of student assistants. It's a library associate position, but we try to hire exclusively students from UNT or TWU for the positions, and there's a bulk of applicants. One of the things I heard him mention was, getting to know people face to face. That really does help. A lot of the people we've hired recently, we've met at conferences. The library director has met some prospective employees at meetings like this. Another thing that's really useful, if you know a library you want to work in, you can still, just get on the computer, email the director, or email the reference librarian, somebody in collection development, whatever area you're interested in, and tell them who you are and why you would like to either work there, do an internship there. If you wanted to set up a meeting, we set up meetings with students all the time and give them tours and let them know what's available. Back to what I did, I started off as a library associate, finished library school, was hired as our systems librarian. I did that for a number of years. And then I was promoted, kind of just changed jobs to assistant director for public services. So I did that for a couple of years, and now I'm the associate director. And y'all might think, wow, that sounds really dull. She's at the same place all these years. But I think if you find a place that you really like and you fit in really well, and you're have a diverse background or want to learn different things, that you can move around in one library. It's worked for me. And also, the library world is changing. When I was in library school, I was the youngest person, and there weren't hardly any, young people in the program. And you guys are all, most of you guys are really young. I think that it's gotten to be a very progressive field and the wave of the future. And I don't know, I can just go on and on, so I'll just be quiet and, and let her talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Kay Bray. And I've had experience really in two library fields. One, I was a school librarian. And to be a school librarian, you have to start out as a school teacher. The state of Texas requires a minimum of 2 years classroom teaching experience before you can be a school librarian. And you don't have to have certification. That way, people who are from out of state, who move to Texas, or people who are a teacher at a private school, as long as they have 2 years experience, then they can take the classes and take the test and become a school librarian. So I started out as a classroom teacher and was actually recommended to be a librarian by my old English teacher from middle school, who I thought was so old when I was in middle school. I think she's about my age, actually. I think I feel older than her. She looks so young. But she moved from English to the library, and she was very enthusiastic about it. So I became a school librarian, and and to become that, I just let the library director know of our school district that I was interested. And there is such a demand for school librarians that by the time I had 6 hours, I was already pulled over on an emergency certification as a school librarian. And we have a fair amount of our TW students who are on an emergency or probationary certification to be a school librarian. Once I finished my MLS in '94, that will date me, I think, I had such fun with my classes. I mean, a master's degree is just so much more fun than a bachelor's degree that I just didn't want to stop. And so I continued on with my doctorate, and fortunately was able to, when I started looking for a job, it was when the state of Texas had a hiring freeze and none of the universities were hiring. And so I started looking a little broader field, and I taught for a year at Cameron University at Lawton, Oklahoma, in their education department, and I taught the technology courses. And when the hiring freeze was lifted, I had subscribed to the Higher Ed Chronicle, which faculty positions are usually announced there, and saw the opening at TWU and applied there, and was very fortunate to be hired on there. TWU respects the UNT alumni, I believe, very much, and we have one or two other people from UNT that are faculty there at TWU. Thank you.
It's great to get to know a little bit more about everybody.